If there's one organisation that relies on getting accurate information and processing it quickly, it's the fire brigade. A large metropolitan brigade like this, employing 1,800 firefighters, 400 support staff, needs a sophisticated information system so that they can act quickly in an emergency. At the heart of their system lies the communication centre. Not quite what I expected. What year is this?
1926.
Thought so. What happens when there's a fire?
We receive the call by exchange telephone or our fire alarm boards connected to various premises or street fire alarms and our sprinkler boards.
If there's a fire, how quickly do you find out?
If there's no phones, there's no fire alarms, not all that quickly. I've got to go. Excuse us.
Certainly, I'll get out of your way. This is more like it. Excuse me, who's in charge?
I am.
Perhaps you could tell us what happens here.
Certainly. This is Metropolitan Fire Brigade and this is where we take all the emergency calls. The operator directly enters the information from the caller into the system. The database of the system is a street directory in which he's able to confirm that the details are accurate. Every individual console position has its own short-term tape recorder where they're able to instantaneously go back to the last or several calls that they've taken to replay if the need is there. We now have the technology that we're able to identify the caller's address when we receive an emergency call. We can also receive emergency calls via automatic alarms, of which we currently monitor 7,500. The operator has a little red flag that comes up in the corner of a screen, and as that comes up she presses one key. That gives her the address of their premises, where keys are held, the street directory reference number and all information relating to that alarm.
Now, what does this phone do?
That's a porter printer, sometimes known as a TTY. It's a telecommunications device for the hearing impaired. Yeah, what they actually do is ring through like you would for an emergency call, but instead of talking, obviously, they send us a little printed message.
Like this one?
Yes, like that one, just the same. And we would ask, what's on fire, what's your address? Exactly the same as we would on the phone. Instead, we type it in, tell them we won't be long, and take it over to the console and enter it in the same manner as we would other emergency calls.
What happens once the operator has recorded the information about the fire?
Once the operator makes a selection, by hitting one particular command key, it gives her the two nearest appliances to attend the call automatically, should they be available.
So it's the computer that's running the show.
Well, no, not really. The operators are running the show. The computer is there to assist and help. We get more accuracy and more speed with the assistance of the computer. However, the operators make the final decision. Because there's so many variables in fire calls, there may need to be adjustments accordingly.
What happens to the information that the operator sends to the fire station?
When the operator is dispatching a fire call, she hits the alert tones for 14 seconds, followed by a voice announce of the call.
Papa 8A, Q's P23, private fire alarm, full call. Papa 8A.
There's also a printout that comes from the fire station equipment with exactly what she's read on the voice announce. That information travels down two telecom landlines, one is voice and one is data, to the individual fire stations that are being dispatched. At the touch of a button we can also notify other authorities, such as the police, the ambulance, airports. From the time the operator receives a call to the dispatch of the emergency vehicles would be an average time of 2 minutes. Automatic alarms can be much faster given that the information of the call is in the system already.
In a very big fire, decision-making can become extremely complicated. The officer in charge at the fire needs a great deal of information very quickly. That's when they bring out the mobile control unit. This is an amazing vehicle. It's really one big information system. If you want to know where the nearest fire hydrants are, you'll find the answer on microfiche. If you want information on any one of over 40,000 hazardous chemicals, it's in this PC. If you want a weather report, you can get it on this fax machine. There's a photocopier, two-way radio, mobile phone, and a commander system with 14 telephones. And cable to connect with the telecom network. 2 kilometres of it if you need it. There's a compass, wind speed and direction meters, barometer for your own local weather information, and a TV set you can hook up to a remote camera. Commander Nicholson has been in charge of the control unit during several major fires. How many people can work in here, Commander?
Generally at a large fire we have about 6 people in the unit, 2 communication staff and 4 command officers in this part of the vehicle. Plus we have senior police or ambulance officers here as well as liaison officers. Well, this unit is the centre point for all the information that is gathered from the fireground, from the officers around the fire and also back at headquarters, and the incident controller based in this vehicle makes his decisions on how to tackle the fire from all that information.
Must get pretty confusing sometimes.
Sometimes it gets very hectic, but we have set procedures and each person has their own role and responsibilities, and if we stick to those systems it works very well.
Thank you. I wonder how people are affected by development in information technology. Do they become more skilled or less skilled? Does new information technology mean more jobs or less jobs? And what about the information itself? Does more information necessarily mean better information?